we're House Regeneration. We're a faith-based center in Pretoria. We believe and we know that the Word of God is the only truth that a person needs to be able to break the bondages of addiction and relieve themselves from life-controlling substance abuse. A lot of centers approach substance abuse from a medical point of view, and what we find is that the students will have a short-term recovery, and this is often why students don't understand why they fall back into their addiction so easily. We believe in an holistic approach where we deal with not only physical issues but as well as spiritual issues, mental issues, and we get down to the core belief system of the student. Why did they start taking drugs in the first place? Then we start feeding them with the Word of God, and we start aligning their belief systems with what the Word of God teaches us they can do through Jesus Christ. And that is what gives us exponentially good long-term results, where people actually get off of their drugs and they stay off of their drugs. Our approach to group therapy and the individual's needs is we rely a lot on the Spirit of God, and we believe that when a person is Spirit-filled and Spirit-led, it brings unity amongst a group of people, and that's what we find here at House Regeneration as well. A student will come into the program very broken and confused, feeling that they're alone in their addiction, that nobody understands what they're going through. And as they allow the Word of God to start seeping into their minds through our Sunday services and through the classes, the one-on-one counseling sessions that they get here at House Regeneration, they start realizing that there is a bigger support structure that's available to them. And it's the same support structure that created them and that created all the people around them. And this gives the students a lot of encouragement, and we find that as we get outside visitors who come and visit House Regeneration as well, this sense of unity is picked up by them. And a lot of the time they carry it away with them as well, and we get testimonies back on how just a meeting over here at House Regeneration has affected them not only in the short term but the long term. And it's not because we're special or because of any of our clever plannings or curriculums. It's only because we rely 100% on the Word of God for our wisdom and our breakthrough in the students' lives. Another side that's really important to us is creativity, and how the students over here actually on a day-to-day basis get challenged artistically, mentally, spiritually. It's all part of our program. So we offer a lot of life skill classes as well. It's important for us that they do creative things. We get them to do dancing and sports and pottery, stuff that's going to stimulate not only their spiritual growth, but some of their creative side as well as their mental side as well.
I'm Michael Krieger. I'm Operations Manager, Security Manager at House Regeneration. Obviously with somebody coming in that has been using drugs, they're pretty much used to doing what they want to do, when they want to do it and how they want to do it, without any consequence or idea of what they do and what the pain that they cause in anybody else's life. So we need to, initially when they come in, we need to analyze them, see how they interact with other people, their willingness to come under an authority, and then also what is their willingness to apply themselves to the program that we set before them over here. Although we do administer a lot of love and a lot of therapeutical training, we also do have to administer a lot of discipline, and we need to keep the guys and sort of orientate them into a mindset that they cannot just do what they want to do when they want to do it. And in order for us to accomplish that, we need to set various rules and regulations in place. Now, We run a very strict routine over here. If I can just run you quickly through the daily routine. 5:30 they stand up. 6 to 6:30 they do praise and worship. 6:30 to 7 o'clock they do Bible study. 7 to 8 they eat their breakfast. 8 o'clock they start their first seminar of the day or lecture for the day. We've got various lecturers over here who gives them training in various aspects of being a disciple. 9 o'clock is their duties, where they have to do their own washing up, they have to stretch their beds, they need to polish the floors, they need to polish the windows, they need to make sure that their living areas are of such a standard that anybody can walk in and see that this is an orderly and a disciplined environment. 10 o'clock they start their second class of the day, the second lecture. 11 o'clock they get some free time till 12. 12 to 1 they have lunch. 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock they do what we call workstation. We look at their various abilities and talents. We orientate them in a working environment where there's a organogram, somebody that they report to, and then that's where they sort of get taught how to receive authority, as well as at some point in their program they're going to become what we call a servant, where they will also learn to exercise authority. This will teach them that in a working environment you need to be able to work well with others, and you also need to take orders as well as give orders effectively. 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock is PT. It's compulsory. There we've got an obstacle course that the guys run, and then they do various pole PT, and then sort of a boot camp. 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock is revision, where the day's classes that they've had, they get to do the homework in that class. 6 to 7 is dinner time. 7 to 8 is their final class of the day. And then 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock is again free time, where the guys can either play ping pong or they can play pool. There's pool tables, etc., that they can sort of just relax and have fellowship with each other. And then 10 o'clock it's lights out. Now we've got what we call a TLC area, where the guys come in initially. This is a high security zone. You can see there's electric fencing, there's barbed wire, there's double the supervision than what there is in the second phase of the program. And here we sort of orientate them, and if any desires that they might have to be rebellious sort of gets dealt with over there. In extreme cases where the guys either get physical with each other, or they smuggle in, or they try and smuggle in drugs, or there's a couple of rules which if they break, for example theft, then they get what we put them in what we call the internal confrontational unit. That is where they get time for some introspection. They basically, what happens is that they are in a room by themselves, and then for 12 hours of the day we play either Bible Alive or Joyce Meyer, or one of the learning programs that we offer. A lot of good happens in there. The guys get checked on every single hour. As I said, everything and all the discipline that we do at ministry gets done out of a point of love, because we want to see the guys get to a place where they are able to be a benefit to society, they're able to be a benefit to their parents, their loved ones, and a blessing. The Word of God teaches us that it's not just good enough for us to heal within ourselves, but we need to be a blessing towards others. And that is what we really try and encourage here with the guys, is to act in brotherly love, to be a unit, to be well disciplined, to be courteous at all times. We don't allow any slander, malice, teasing, anything of the sorts. There's no swearing allowed. There's also no TV, there's no radio. It's basically just human interaction in brotherly love and the Word of God. The second phase of the program is actually more of what we call a discipleship training center, much more than what we call say really it's a rehab. There the rules are a bit more relaxed. There's a lot more grace given, but that's also you can only get there if you have proven in TLC that you really have made a decision to change your life. You need to finish a 28-page life story. You need to acquire a certain amount of points. If you do get any what we call a report card, a point gets taken away. So you need to get to a point where you've got 48 points, and then You also need to write a small test as to what you've learned down here. We've got basic Christian foundations, which the guys get taught over a period of 4 weeks, of which then they need to write a test. Should they pass that, and they've got 48 points, and they've written their 28-page life story, and they're also showing good moral value, then they get let out and they can start their discipleship training program. And that's when they can start having visitations from their parents and their loved ones, so that the old bonds that have been broken down by destructive drug abuse can start being built up and restored. The program is a period of 12 months, okay, which is not negotiable. 12 months is the minimum. If we come to a period of 10 months, there's an evaluation done on the person. If we feel and we all are not in agreement that they're ready to finish the program, then we recommend to their people that they stay an extra 3 months, and we intensify the program somewhat. They have to sit in more classes, there's less free time, and more biblical studies get done in that period of time.
Ek is Adam Krieger, die directeur van Freedom Therapy en ook die stigter van Extreme Freedom Foundation. Waarvoor ek meestal verantwoordelik is die ontwikkeling van hierdie hele program. Want destyds in 1984, toe ek in die tronk sit vir handel en dwelms, het Jesus my daar kom besoek, vir my 'n visie gegee en vir my 'n padkaart gegee oor hoe ek hierdie ding moet aanpak en uitbou. En so die belangrike ding wat ek besef het, is dat ons kennis moet opdoen uit die woord van God. Hoe om mense op 'n sielkundige, geestelike en fisiese vlak te benader en hulle die beginsels van die woord te leer, sodat hulle kan leef binne in God se raamwerk van sy beginsels en sy koninkryk en sy wil. Nou, ons weet dat meeste van die ouetjies wat hier aankom is dwelmverslaaf en het baie ander verwante issues. Ons verstaan ook dat, en ons weet ook dat baie van hulle was al reeds by sekulêre inrigtings en instansies waar hulle met medikasie en met sielkunde en al die ander soort van goeders terapie ontvang het, en dit het nie regtig vir hulle gewerk nie. Want ons uitgangspunt is God het die mens geskep. Nie die mens homself geskep nie, hy het ook nie ontwikkel uit een of ander amoebe wat in die oseaan rondgeflout het nie. God het ons gemaak na sy beeld en hy wil hê ons moet leef volgens sy wil. En ons weet daar was 'n fout gewees, Adam het gefouteer en die hele wêreld is nou in sonde gedompel. En dwelmmisbruik is 'n sonde, dis nie 'n siekte nie. Want dit word in die skrif beskryf as die sonde van heksery en rebellie teen God. Die Griekse woord daarvoor is pharmacia. Min mense besef dit regtig. So ons uitgangspunt is eenvoudig. Dwelmgebruik en al sy verwante probleme wat daarmee saamkom, is gekoppel aan die mens se verkeerde houding teenoor sy skepper. Ons het 'n brein ontvang wat van ons uniek maak van die res van die diereryk en elke ander wese wat op hierdie aarde loop. En daardie brein het God vir ons gegee. En daardie brein is 'n geweldige sensitiewe orgaan, maar wat ons ook in staat stel om met hom te kan kommunikeer. Nou as ons hierdie brein van ons mishandel deur toksiese stowwe en goeders daarin te gooi, dan gaan dit vanselfsprekend wees dat ons nie gaan reg funksioneer teen opsigte van die Here self. So ons het gaan navorsing doen oor wat sê die Bybel oor dwelms en al sy verwante probleme, en uitgevind dat God stel geweldig baie belang in ons denke. Inteendeel, hy sê soos die mens dink, so is hy. So verder het ons gaan navorsing doen. Ek het gaan swat by universiteite, ek het gaan kers opsteek by ander instansies oor see wat suksesvolle programme het, en het toe uiteindelik hierdie kurrikulum ontwikkel wat ons noem Bybelse terapie. En dit is basies op 'n baie eenvoudige fondasie gebou, en dit is die leuen teenoor die waarheid van die woord. Mense glo leuns en as gevolg daarvan is hulle disfunksioneel. En so wat doen ons? Ons gaan deur 36 algemene leuns wat nagevors is in tronke en ook met interaksie met verslaafdes. En ons werk deur daai 36 leuns sodat mense dit in hulle self kan identifiseer, maar dan stop ons nie daar nie. Dan gaan kyk ons, wat is die antwoorde wat die woord van God gee ten opsigte van daai leuns. En nou leer ons die mense in die eerste plek dat hulle Jesus Christus nodig het, dat hulle wedergebore moet word, want die mens is veronderstel om 'n geesmens te wees en hy is geestelik dood terwyl hy nog in sonde is. Wanneer hy sy sonde bely en hy neem Jesus Christus aan as verlosser en saligmaker, sê die woord, word hy wedergebore, kom die Heilige Gees in hom woon en begin die Heilige Gees van binnekant af met die mens werk. En wat ons nou moet doen in ons curriculum hierso, ons help die mens om sy denke te herprogrammeer volgens die woord van God. En Hebreërs 4 vers 12 bevestig dit baie duidelik, want hy sê die woord van God is lewendig, kragtig en dinamies. En soos 'n tweesnydende swaard gaan dit in en dit maak 'n onderskeid tussen die siel en die gees en ontbloot dit wat in die hart aangaan. En dit is sodat die mens sy probleme kan raak sien. Maar daai ding van skeiding tussen siel en gees, dit is wat vir ons so interessant was. Want toe kom ons agter, God spreek nie net ons geestelike lewe aan, hy spreek ook ons sielkundige lewe aan. So ons het die Bybel gevat as ons sielkunde handboek. En elke bietjie sielkunde wat daar is daarin, ontgin en het in ons curriculum ingebou, en ek moet eerlikwaar sê, die Here seën ons met baie goeie resultate. Maar ons kan nie die eer vir onsself neem nie. Dis alles lank voor die tyd al reeds in die woord opgeskryf. En al wat ons gedoen het, ons het gaan soek en soek en soek totdat ons die waarhede kon kry wat ons studente en die mense wat na ons toe kan kom verhelp, sodat ons hulle kragtig kan help met die evangelie van Jesus Christus.